Afternoon meal prep. I think so. This camera wants to drift all of a sudden. I don't know why it wants to drift. Get on my nerves. Get on my last nerve. Let me move this camera around a little bit, see if we need to. There we go. We have a little light on the subject. We'll wait a couple minutes and wait for folks to kind of come in and hang out. But we are going to make sourdough banana bread. We're going to make some pork chops for dinner later. And some tuna salad for lunches this week. So that's what we're going to be doing. Hopefully some folks stop in and say hello. And we have, of course, the beads. There we go. There's the beads. So let's go over here and back over to our workstation. Most important place. I would turn you guys the other way, but I have the TV on. I'm watching the TV show while I do this, and I've got the closed caption on, so because it's getting to the good part of the season. So, oh, that's the Biggs. Yeah, that's the Biggs. Hambone, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Okay, but I'm gonna bring over the mixer, and we're gonna start making this. We're gonna start making our banana bread. We're going to get that started first, and then we're going to go from there. So let me clear off a little spot and all that. What I was going to do, I've got some meal prep that I'm going to do for the week, the rest of the week, and all that. And so I just thought I'd come on and see who all shows up. I know it's not very exciting now. You guys are getting to stare at my empty kitchen island, but I promise. We'll be doing something here in just a second. I just need to get my mixer over there and all that. I just wanted to get the party started before it gets much later in the day. Because I am an early to bed, early to rise kind of fella. All right. Get the mixer over here. She is a big gal. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Can we make a small banana bread for the Beegs? I don't know why not. I have a couple little pans. Maybe we'll make a little one for the Beagle. That's actually a really good idea. Let me jump here in front of the camera, because I'm going to be getting stuff in and out. Normally I kind of have this set up a little bit better than I do right now, but it is what it is. And I'll be over here on the side looking at my banana bread recipe. Little beard cam for all the beard lovers out there. And I know there's some. Not all. But there are some. So anyway, loving using mine for pizza dough. Oh man, yeah, 100%. I have yet to make sourdough pizza dough. I have made several pizza doughs in the past, but I have not made a sourdough pizza dough. And we are going to be working with sourdough tonight. That's going to be the main thing, because I got quite a little bit of starter here, and I'm trying to keep this down to a dull roar. And I have 3 bananas in there that I forgot about, but are still good. You know how when you put bananas in the refrigerator, and the peel turns black, but the inside's still good? That's where we're at with those. So that's where I'm at with those bananas. So let me bring up go to the channel here real quick, and we'll see what everybody's saying, because I can't see it right now, but we will be able to in here in just a second. And see who all's in and who isn't. But if you are here, take a few minutes. If you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'm sure your fingers aren't broke, so hit the subscribe, hit the like. It doesn't take any time. Love using mine for making pizza dough. Gasser and Chaos. So you decided to show up on TikTok? I better not be on TikTok. If I'm on TikTok, somebody's going to get sued. Because I'm not on TikTok. I don't even have the TikTok app, to be honest. We'll be back at the bees for me. I will. She's busy. She's got her designated spot right here. I don't know why she does. I think because it holds everything. But she really likes to be sitting right there in the doorway at the patio side, because I think that the track holds the stuff that she's gnawing on, and that's what she does. So anyway, but yeah, let me bring up. I'm going to bring up the sourdough recipe. Really, it's not. The sourdough recipe is not that hard. I tend to use the same one. Well, not the same one. I've only done this one other time, and it came out and it was really good. But I might be a little light on the banana, so I'm going to add some shredded coconut to it. I thought that sounded really good. I should have realized, because not every wasn't a TikTok commercial. Oh, I got you. Roger that. Oh, I got you. I see. Yeah, you're doing it. You're doing the dual doom scroll. Yeah, I hear that. Brother, it happens. It happens. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are doing well. Question on the KitchenAid. Does the pin holding the mixing head to the base ever start working its way out? No, not on this one. I've never, if you're talking about, I think you're talking about this one maybe, that pin, or there's another pin up here, or the one, I think there's one in the back as well. No, this one doesn't have that. But this one is, this is a hand-me-down KitchenAid. This was my mom's. This was actually my mom's 40th birthday present from my dad, and it sat dormant. My mom used to use it quite a bit, but it was a hand-me-down to me. So I've never had any trouble with this, but I don't know how long it sat dormant either. So I remember she used to use it quite a bit, but when my mom was 40, I didn't live at home either. So the swivel pin, I don't know. Pin, huh? The swivel pin. Maybe these pins down here at the bottom. I'm looking for the pin. Oh wait, I gotta unlock it. Yeah, I don't see any. Everything on here has, except for the one on the side, which is a rivet, which is rivet style pin. Everything else on here has a flathead screw on it, except for the bottom. Those are machine head screws, Phillips screws. But yeah, no, I've never had any trouble with it. It is kind of loud, but for being, I'm trying to think what year my mom would have been 40 years old. 1990, my mom would have been 40. So, 40, yeah, 40, 1990-ish. So it's whatever, it's 36 years old. Yeah, the side pin, mine works its way out. Yeah, that's a rivet pin. I mean, if you had somebody that had a rivet gun, you could re-rivet it. You know, I would imagine. But you'd have to have a bucker on the other side. You'd have to have somebody rivet on one side, but you know, you can get them replaced. You can send KitchenAids in and get them serviced. There's actually a place not far from where I live where they service KitchenAids made in the same state I live in, and well, at least they have a factory here. And I don't know if they make all KitchenAids here, but they have a service department where you can send your KitchenAid in and get it fixed. So yeah, that could be something. But anyway, let's get gloved up. I'm gonna start on this. You just knock it out. Yeah, it's a solid pin. Yeah, the rivet right here on the side. Yeah, your rivets come loose. That's probably what it is. Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is. Unfortunately, that sucks. But anyway, I'm gonna get started on this this thing. I know that I need for this recipe. I know I need 100 grams of sourdough starter. So I'm gonna get my. I'm a class act, so I'm gonna use my eBay digital scale. But I am going to bring up that recipe real quick. So, see if I can do this at the same time, which I don't think I can do. But it should only take me a second to throw this together. But if everybody, I know we don't have a whole bunch of folks in the section at the moment. But where's everybody coming in from? I would really, really like to know. Yeah, there we go. There's the one. Let's get this one. Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah, that's the one I need. So we're going to start by grabbing up the 3 bananas that I have that are in here. And they are definitely overripe. And we're going to mash those up. We'll get all this. A lot of times they want you to separate the bananas and all that stuff. I don't find that to be the most useful thing in the world. The only thing I am going to do is I'm going to weigh out my sourdough starter first. And then we'll go and get that in there. Natalia Fitness, what's going on, Natalia Fitness? How are you? Are you training? Are you doing your glutes? Should be working on your glutes, getting your steps. I'm gonna make some really, really good banana bread. But you're not allowed to have any because you're a fitness guru. No fitness gurus can have banana bread. It's got carbs. You don't want carbs. My stream is not working. My stream to you, I think I have the issue like you had. I tell you what, that was the most frustrating thing in the world because I will say this, that maybe, just maybe, if you recently did, one of the things that I did that screwed a lot of stuff up was I did the 2-step verification for to do stuff, and boy, it separated everything. Oop, that's a little much. That's a little much. Take out 10 grams of that. 10, 20 grams. We'll get a teaspoon. It's already starting to go awry here. I'm not paying attention. I'm listening to what Natalia talking about. We're talking YouTube stuff. Natalia Fitness, actually, she has a channel as well. She does a lot of fitness training and tutorials on how to get in shape. She does a lot of that kind of stuff, which is if you're looking to get in shape and you like ladies from New Zealand, she's your gal, that's for sure. She is your gal. For my laptop, but not my phone. Yeah, see, that's what, as soon as I connected everything, I went and we had an electrical storm and it fried my what do you call it? My laptop, my laptop and my phone. And then I added a tablet because I thought it would be cool for doing stuff like this, which I think it is. Which I think it is cool for doing stuff like this, but the sync, after I synced everything together, it screwed everything up. And I don't know why, and I don't know how, but it did. And I just had to literally just play around with it. I just played around and played around and played around with it in my free time. I don't need that on there yet. I'm on the wrong side. Usually I work on this side and I have this more in the middle, but since I've got guests, I'm working on this side. Thanks, but YouTube doesn't want me to stream. Yeah, I was able to do mine from my tablet, but I wasn't able to do mine from my phone or my regular. And the other thing that fried up was my camera, because I had an actual camera that I was using, and it the camera fried too. I forgot about that. So we're starting out. We got 100 grams of sourdough starter that we just dropped into there. And then we're gonna go with, I gotta get my cups down. I didn't really, like I said, I didn't do this as like I do my normal Sundays, where I laid everything out. This is me hanging out during the week, doing some stuff, doing some things, meal prepping for the week. So I just thought maybe you guys might want to hang out and enjoy the ride here for a little while. Yeah, see, same problem. Yeah, there's something to it, Natalia, that it does that, and it just, I don't know. It's so frustrating. So frustrating that it's beyond me that it's so frustrating. And plus, I mean, I lost. It's like right now we have 8 viewers, and I'm really glad that everybody's in that's in. But I mean, we would have 6,000-7,000 people watching. And when I clicked off last night and I saw how many people were there for the live stream yesterday, I could do an impromptu live stream and get literally 5,000 or 6,000 views in one stream and pick up subscribers. And what's really frustrating is last night I've been doing short videos and some regular videos, and I usually pick up a subscriber. Some pick up, some even pick up like 10 or whatever. But I did the one I did last night, I did the first live stream in a couple months, and I literally lost 6 subscribers from the time that I started till the time that I finished. And I know of 2 people that at least that subscribed that I know that were watching. Friends of mine that had never seen my channel before. They were watching last night and they subscribed, and I lost two of those. So I don't know. It's weird to go from having 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people watching your live streams to having, by the time I was done last night, I had 300 people, which I was glad 300 people came. I was glad that 300 people hung out last night and watched me fix that pan last night. And even Eric, your moderator, he was kind enough to join the stream last night. I'm gonna mash these bananas and the sourdough starter together. I'm not big on sifting flour or anything like that. We're not gonna overwork it. We're just gonna lock that lid and we're just gonna go kind of slow. If I need to put the sides on it, I will. But I don't think it's gonna take much to get this all together. And then we'll just go on to the next, see what the next thing is. We'll need a couple eggs and 2 cups of flour. So let me get my 2 cups of flour together and we'll go from right there. Happy to have you back. Oh yeah, Eric told you he was in. Yeah, he was in. He was in hanging out, doing what Eric does. It was good to see him. So yeah, like I said, it's not going to take much to mash that up. Let me grab 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And I am going to mix that stuff up off to the side. I hope you smashed that like button, Natalia. I hope you did do that. All right, that looks pretty. You guys see into there at all? Yeah, you guys can see in there. Yeah, I hope you get it fixed too. It's frustrating. And why it would do my laptop, it's like it all separated. And it wouldn't, like I lost my algorithm somewhere along the line. Like I said, we've got 3 bananas in there so far. We've got, then I'm about to dump in a couple other things. We're going to use some milk in this as well. Hope I have enough milk. If not, we'll just add We'll just add water. The milk's really thick. And where are my teaspoons? I moved my kitchen around a little bit, so that's even more discombobulated. So I think that's enough mixing of that stuff. We'll move that. I always like to have that in the back. Or at least in the middle. Out of the way. See if we can get that to the back. It's timing. And timing's instinct. You can't really teach that. There we go. Right there. That's to the back. Okay, so let's get our vanilla in there. Vanilla in. And how much of that do I need? 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And like I said, I am going to toss in a little bit of shredded coconut into this because I didn't have walnuts. And I didn't have, the only thing I have, like as far as like a nut goes that would be good to put in there is I have smoked almonds. And I almost thought about throwing the smoked almonds in there, but they're really salty. And I don't think that this recipe calls for any kind of salt. And then let's get, it does, but it's not much. So then we're going to put this in there. And throw that in. 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. The overrated King Arthur flour. So I'm not a huge fan of. So if anybody's watching from anybody that's a big fan of King Arthur, I think King Arthur's overrated. But it is employee owned, so that's good. That's good for them. Let's see, so we threw that in there. Let's go with 1 cup of, we'll start with light brown sugar with a cup of that. And if I need more, I'll just add in some brown sugar. I always make my own brown sugar, which to make brown sugar is really not hard. It's just adding molasses to your sugar, to regular sugar, and then sitting there mixing it up for like ever. Pack that down. Yummy sugar. I do have a thing for molasses. I do love molasses, man. That stuff is so good. Every once in a while, if I'm like having a low energy day, or I'm not feeling great, I just have a teaspoon or a tablespoon of molasses, kind of straighten me back out. It's better than a Red Bull. Let's see what we got. So that's not quite a cup of brown sugar. So we're going to use the dark brown. And I probably have these sealed. There we go. So we'll add some dark brown into there. This is probably going to end up being about a cup. But if you can see on this, you can see where the molasses is sort of sat to the bottom because I made the brown sugar. That's all brown sugar is. It's just sugar with molasses in it. And I use raw sugar too, so that kind of helps. Kind of helps the whole process. So we've got three bananas, 100 grams of sourdough starter, and sourdough starter has got to be 30 years old, at least 30 years old, 25, 30 years. That's just about 1 cup of that. That's all we need. We did have a little bit left. So that's out of the way. Let's check the comment section, see if anybody's in there. Oh, nope, no comments. Good. I kind of wanted the place to myself. A little quiet time. A little quiet time for the bathroom. So we've got that in. I am going to dump one of the eggs in. We'll dump one egg in now. And we've got one of our eggs. Hopefully, there we go. 1 egg. And then we'll put we'll put the other one off to the side, and we'll have that here. We'll add that toward the end. We got one of our eggs, so it'll be 2, like I said. And back in. We'll let that hang out for a moment. You gotta take this out. Deglaze my hands. See what else we need. I know we're gonna need some baking soda in here at some point. Baking soda is for the leavening agent. That's gonna be really important to have. You see 2 eggs, got our 2 cups of flour. We're gonna do a 1/4 cup of milk. And nice creamy milk. Knock the cream off the side of this milk real quick. So, see what all you guys can see. Go over this way just a little bit. So we have a 1/4 cup of milk that we're going to throw into this. So far we've got 3 bananas. 3 bananas, 100 grams of sourdough starter, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, pure vanilla extract, that's what it called for, and that's what I just happen to have. And I'm trying to think what else. Now we're going to do a little bit of salt into there. Do just a smidgen of salt around there. And I'll break out the container that we're going to do that in. Let's see, we need a 1/2 cup of oil, so we're just going to use, I'll just use avocado oil for that. I think it says a 1/2 cup, should be a 1/2 cup. Yeah, 1/2 cup. So we just got a 1/2 cup of oil here. Ran that out. But we'll get some more avocado. I got more up here in the cupboard that we'll use. That's the shot here. There we go. A lot of times I just use butter, but I'm sort of, I'm not feeling like wasting the time doing that. So we got a 1/2 cup of oil. There we go. I think we're done with the big cups. Baking soda. Baking soda looks like about all I need. I just need a 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. So I'm going to grab that out of the Lazy Susan. And for anybody who watched last night and I was pissed because I didn't have baking soda, guess what? I had an entirely huge box of baking soda sitting right under in my Lazy Susan that I went right past. I had a cereal box size of baking soda that I went right past this stuff. And I didn't realize I had it. Because I almost made another trip today just to go get baking soda. And if you know anything about where I live, that's like a for realsies trip. Like you got to go somewhere. 1.5 teaspoons baking soda. Where's my one? There it is. That's part of that one. Take that one off of there. Damn, Lazy Susan. I know, Handsome Stone. What's up, buddy? Is this the live chat? This is the live chat. Thanks for stopping in. We're just doing some meal prep. We're doing a little bit of, we're making some sourdough banana bread, this is my second attempt. I liked it so much I decided to make it again. And since I had 3 bananas that I forgot about in the bottom in my crisper drawer, which everybody always says don't ever put bananas in the refrigerator. They're absolutely right. And the reason that they don't want you to do that, it's not because it makes bananas worse. It's because you forget about it. So I forgot about these bananas till today. So we need 1.5 teaspoons of our baking soda. I don't know if anybody's in right now that watched yesterday, but I was like, baking soda was like the key to the stream, and I thought I was out, and I had this entire box that I have just for, I buy the cheap stuff for cleaning cast iron. That's about 1.5 teaspoons. I'd say that's 1.5 teaspoons. And that is, oh, we need a little bit of salt. I always forget the salt. It's like, salt's like the bane of my existence. So let's get a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there. That looks like 1/4 teaspoon to me. And we'll just mix this up a minute, and I'll check the chat, the comment section. There we go. Oh, I forgot one more thing. One more thing. One more thing. I'm going to throw some coconut in there. Damn lazy. Yeah, 100%, man. Damn lazy Susan. So, I'm probably going to have to unseal the coconut. I'm going to do what I think is about 1/4 to 1/3 of the cup. Yep, I had to unseal it. So we're going to do about 1/3, 1/4 cup to 1/3. I had this air sealed, so it's going to be kind of packed in. The nuts and fruit, I try to air seal when I can, if it allows for it, so they do stay fresher. And the air seal does work. We got our milk. And we'll just turn this on and turn it onto the spin cycle for a minute or two and let it roll. And I'll get down the star that we'll use, show what I'm going to be making, what I'm going to be using it in. I'm just going to use a Lodge loaf pan, bread pan. But what we're going to do is we're going to throw this in there. I'm going to be using back this camera off so I can show you guys what I'm using. But I'm using the Lodge loaf pan, the standard. Just using that. But I'm going to throw that into. I got to take a couple. If you're a cast iron head like I am, you've always got at least one piece of cast iron in the stove. And this is from last night. That's the one we restored last night. Wagner square skillet. Came out really nice. The owner of the antique store that Ming works at found that, and he asked me to restore that for him, so I did. Let me scrape the sides down. Scrape the sides down in this. And then I think we're going to throw the pork chops in the oven. I'm not going to do anything amazing with the pork chops, though I am tempted to grab some herbs out of the garden and drop them on the top. But I don't know if I want to get all into that or not. Oh, and I do need to put the other egg in. You guys need to let me. You guys always have to remind me to put the other egg in and the salt. Okay. We got our second egg to go in. There we go. No shells. Don't need the shells in the banana bread. Check the chat here. Mr. Mixer is interesting guy to follow regarding mixer. Dalton Brown's last episode on knives is a good tutorial on cutting stuff so Badger doesn't lose digits and Val can relax. Val wouldn't. I could be a knife expert, and Val's not going to relax. Val's still going to give me the business on how I cut stuff, because I'm not gonna dox what Val does for a living, but it's her job for people to be safe. to be safe, especially in the kitchen. Let's turn this up a little bit. Get all that stuff mixed in there. I'm going to throw this. I'm going to heat this up to 350 because I think that's where we got to have this. So we're going to throw that to 350 and at least get it warmed up because I want to do this similar to cornbread. A lot of times with the old cast iron, I don't heat it up to bake. But this is going to be one of these times where I'm going to treat it like any other like cornbread or any other kind of cake. And we're going to heat that up to 350, and then we'll pour that in there. We'll brush some butter onto the inside of that, and then we'll go from there. There's Ronald Coward. What's up, buddy? Cast Iron Chaos says, I bought the spring support for the paddle from Mr. Mixer and got what I asked for. Essentially, I paid $15 for a little spring, but it worked, and I'm really glad it. So I'm not really complaining. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, and then, you know, sometimes when you need specialty things, it costs a little bit. I know that I had the drive belt to a 1970 Kirby sweeper, particular model. It was fairly common in 1970. And I had that drive belt, and I sold that for about $15. And I'm sure you probably could have bought them in a hardware store for $1.99 at one point. And I'm sure even with inflation, $1.99 wasn't $15. Just saying. And I maybe even threw, normally I don't charge shipping, but I might have thrown $5 in on there for shipping. Okay, let's scrape down the sides again. I've had good luck. Yeah, I do sometimes, and sometimes I don't. It depends on what I'm doing. But this is one, it's, you know, especially like, kind of like cornbread, where it's a really denser, banana bread's really dense at the end of the day. It's super dense. So we're definitely going to preheat. And I'm doing it in a low pan, which I could have done it in one of the number 6s, which is what I highly recommend for doing anything cornbread or cake or anything like that. Always number 6. A lot of people like number 5s. Number 5s are okay. I like the 6 because it's a little shallower to do it. Hello, Radagast. It is going fine. I'm doing a little meal prep. I'm making some banana bread because I found some bananas in the crisper drawer that were still somewhat available to be used. And I had everything else that I needed to make it, including a cast iron loaf pan. So I decided I would make it. And then we're going to break out some pork chops that I have in there that need to be used up. I'm kind of just doing some meal prep for the week is really what I'm doing. And maybe a little bit of dinner. I think the Beagle's going to have a pork chop for dinner tonight. So that's always fun for her. But I'm glad you're here. Hope everybody's hit the like button. If you're out there in the stratosphere just hanging out, doing a whole heck of a lot of nothing, enjoying the thing, please hit the like button and the subscribe. And we're going to heat this up. I'm going to go, instead of the standard 350, I think I'm going to go 360 on it, just because I'm rogue. See how you guys. This, my camera holder has been wanting to drift, and I tightened it up, and it still wants to drift a little bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, you guys can see into there. We're going to let that hang out. I'm going to just kind of clear a path real quick. So I'm going to clear a path to my next drink and to get some of this stuff. I'll leave that. I am going to need that. But I think some of this stuff I can move out of my way. Because that's one thing about my house. My house is a good-sized house, but my kitchen is teeny. It's almost like working in a closet for a lot of the stuff that I do on here. I don't know why they did that. And I thought, I know that this wall where my sink and everything is, that could be moved back like 4 to 5 feet. Because there's nothing there. There's literally nothing behind it. There are support beams, but I mean, who hasn't had a beam, you know, lived in a house that has a beam running through the middle of it? The hammered lodge skillet makes, let's see, cast iron chaos. The hammered skillet lodge makes a souvenir for its museum is a number 6. Yeah, which I thought was really cool. I'm a huge fan of number 6s and number 7s. Huge fan. I absolutely love it. And I'm a huge fan of number 7s, other than number 8s, might be 6s and 7s are my next biggest one that I have. Even though I do have a lot of 3s, just because I tried to collect one from all the foundries that I like. But my 6s and 7s, man, are definitely there. I don't have many 5s. I have probably maybe 3, but I also have to count in the wildlife series into that, because I have one, and I have a mallard that's a number 5, one of the 1990s mallards. I do have one of those, and I know I have an unmarked Wagner number 5, which was one of the first skillets when I initially started collecting cast iron. I'm kind of an underdog, and I underdog lover, and I kind of just wanted to have an inexpensive set. So I started collecting unmarked Wagner to begin with. And then I decided that I like pick a favorite. I have to pick one that's expensive. So I started collecting pick a favorite and Wapak. All right. I'm hoping that sometimes when you use shredded coconut, it can tend to fall to the bottom. So before I pour this in, I am going to give it just a little fold real quick. I had that happen to me when I made the Tom Cruise Christmas coconut white chocolate Christmas cake a couple years ago. I made 3 of them, and every time I did them, the coconut went to the bottom. And I tried every trick that was known to the interwebs to keep it from doing it, and still did that. When my bananas started getting old, I put them in the freezer. Then I get 3 of them and make banana bread. That's a great idea. That's a really good idea. I never thought to do that. I don't buy a lot of bananas either. I've been making smoothies in the morning before I go to work, and so I've been buying some bananas, but I don't do this. I don't get up, or sometimes I don't give myself enough time to do breakfast. So then I just fast till about 3 in the afternoon, 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Usually about 4 is my limit where I can't take it anymore. Well, we're just waiting on that to go. I'm going to move this out of the way. I don't need this anymore. Don't need that anymore either. Ooh, I just tasted the batter. The batter's really good. I think we should put, while we're waiting around, I think we should probably put just a touch of ginger into that. I mean, I think it would be crazy not to, right? Just a little bit of ginger and a little bit of black pepper, just to make that ginger pop. A little bit of ginger and a little bit of black pepper. Where's my black pepper? There it is. A little bit of black pepper. There we go. If you don't know the secret to using a dash or 2 of black pepper while you're baking, you're missing out. It really does work, and it makes all the other little spices pop. That was a trick I learned from Graham. So we'll just mix that in real quick. Lock that up, and just give it a quick mix. There we go. You guys into the shot okay? Hello, how is everyone doing? Lake Norman, North Carolina guy. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Just making some banana bread, sourdough banana bread. My second attempt. And this wasn't discard. This was actually the sourdough that I started or I fed it at 2:30 this afternoon, and it's now, I don't know what time it is, 6:30, and I put this in about, it had about 3 hours, plus it's about 78 degrees in the house, so it didn't take long for the sourdough starter to double up, so I thought that was plenty. There we go, a little bit more, there you go, right to the back. Back to the front. If you like Metallica, you know what I'm talking about. So we've got that. We're going to need to get out just a little bit of butter so I can brush the insides of the, the pan. And I will be using unsalted butter. Unsalted butter doesn't burn as bad. You can get more of a brown with unsalted butter when you bake or cook, so I use a lot of unsalted butter. I have nothing against salted butter, but it works better to unsalted. For me, it seems to work better. We add a little coconut to the some ginger, some black pepper into the banana bread, because I didn't have any kind of nut. I really wanted walnuts, but I didn't have any, and I wasn't going to go drive an hour to go get walnuts. So I used to have a friend that had an English walnut tree, or he had several of them in his yard. He always had walnuts, and he was always willing to give them away. Which I learned a really interesting factoid about walnuts when he had that tree, is that the walnuts come off in, say, like the early summer, but they're not. And this is why people have them at Christmas, because they don't dry out enough to where you can actually crack them open until about December. So that's why people have at the holidays. That's why they have all their like mixed nuts and walnuts and stuff out, because that's actually, if you bought them from a company, that's when they're ready to go. They're not ready in the summer. I mean, you can still get walnuts, obviously, but they're not ready to go like they are, like if you had English walnut trees in your backyard, like a lot of people used to do. People used to have, you know, that kind of stuff back in the day. Okay, and we're waiting for that to get up to 360. It's still preheating, the pan is. So we're going to make some room. I'm just going to adjust over onto my laptop to get back out of that recipe and back over to where you guys are, so I can read the comment section just a little bit better than I was and see what's going on. Okay, so we've got that, and we're just going to clear off a little bit of room here so we can get into, because I'm going to do I'm going to put the pork chops in while I'm baking the banana bread. I don't think there's going to be much of a, I don't think that's going to cause any problems for me. And we'll also, I guess if we're going to be making it sort of a lodge night, because I'm going to use the lodge, I think it's 11 by 13 or 9 by 13 casserole dish. And we're going to do our pork chops in there. And I do have lemons. I have the lemons because I'm adding them to my beer, which if you've never had a Miller High Life, if you do indulge, if you've never had a Miller High Life with a lemon in it, you do not know what you're missing. And if you really want to up your game a little bit, and I'm just saying if you indulge, don't overindulge and don't drink and drive. But Miller Genuine Draft is even better. But I have to drive a long way to get Miller Genuine Draft, and I don't drive for trivial things like that. Because I live in the boonies, in the sticks. I read that walnut originated in Anatolia. I don't know where Anatolia is, to be really honest. I had a black walnut tree in my yard at one time. I didn't even know that I had them. I hated the mess. I have a black walnut tree in my backyard now. I have a couple of them. And I grew up in the farm I grew up. My mom was the greatest of making everything. She was so good at it. And I wish she was still good at it and could tell us all how she did everything. Because my mom hasn't lived in the country in like 30 years, so she doesn't remember how to do a lot of the things she used to do. But we had black walnuts as well, and we would have black walnuts. I remember there was one or two summers that my mom made homemade black walnut ice cream, and it was amazing. I mean, she wouldn't like dye her clothes in it. We weren't Amish, but we were, we lived in the country. We lived on a nice farm, and it had, my great grandparents. There was rhubarb, there were walnut trees, there were fruit trees, there were strawberries. They had everything they needed because for some reason in my life, other than for about 8 or 10 years, I've lived in the middle of absolute nowhere on a real regular basis. But I don't know where Anatolia is. It sounds, where was Dracula from? It sounds like somewhere like where Dracula would be from. Like in that area of the world. Sort of like in Eastern Europe someplace. Okay, so that means I planted 3 black walnuts in my tree in 1983. Now I have a bunch. Oh, that's super cool. How long did it take you before you actually started getting walnuts? A while? I'm going to guess like 6 or 8 years at least. I would think. Knowing how long it takes to grow things. 7 years. All right, I was pretty close. Get some gloves on. So I'm going to butter up. The pan's heated up. So that's kind of timed out perfectly. Let's put that in there, and then we'll move on to the pork chops. See, like if I like the pork chops, I'm not really too worried about heating up the pan for the pork chops to bake those, because I'm just going to throw them in and bake them, and then we're going to make tuna salad after that. So let me get the lobster claws out, and we will butter up our pan, and then we'll drop our batter in there, and hopefully that'll be hot enough to make a little sizzle. I don't know if 360 is going to be hot enough for a sizzle, but it might be. It might just be. Let's see. We've got a few folks in there. So you got the crab claws. Boy, it's nice. It's beautiful out here today. Is it beautiful where you guys are? It is absolutely gorgeous here today. It's like 79 degrees. The sun's out. The big puffy white cumulus clouds are in the sky, and it is gorgeous outside. I shouldn't even be in here cooking. I should be out there slathered in coconut oil, getting sun, listening to Hawaiian cocktail music. But I did have to get this stuff done for today. So we're doing what we got to do. Sometimes you just got to take care of stuff inside, even though it sucks. But I'm glad you guys are here hanging out with me, keeping me company. Very cool, very cool. Let's get that pan out, get the crab claws on, or the lobster claws on, and get this pan ready to go. Then we'll move on to the pork chops. Nice and hot. I wish I would have taken my butter. I usually, a lot of times I leave my butter out on the counter, but it's been so hot the last couple weeks that I've been putting it, when I'm not using it, I've been putting it in the fridge. In the wintertime I love it because I can just leave the butter out. Well, nice. Let's do about half of that. Throw that in there. Oh yeah, you got a little sizzle, got a little foam on that butter. Get the brush, kind of brush that around in there. Oh yeah, can you guys see that okay? I've got a bad glare when I'm looking on my phone. Okay, yeah, I'm looking over on the other thing. It looks like you guys can see that okay. I'm trying to keep it out of where the comment section is as well, so you guys can see. But it's foaming up, it's sizzling. We should get a little sizz. Boy, I love the smell of melted butter. It smells so good. It smells like a movie theater. And I've been so disappointed with my local movie theater because I love going to the movies. And it has been nothing but little kid movies. Like the whole last month and a half been nothing but little kid movies. I don't mind little kid movies, but man, sometimes when you go and you watch some little kid movies, the problem is there's a lot of little kids there. I don't know if you can hear it, but there is a little sizzle. Not a whole lot. That smells good. I love the smell of banana bread. I like this. I think I almost like the smell of banana bread better than I actually like eating banana bread. But I don't know if anybody else does this, but sometimes I like to use fresh bananas, like this, not ripe, but like sort of underripe, with almost like a little bit of green in the onion or green in the banana. I think it gives it a really fresh flavor. It's one of my favorite ways to make banana bread. Boy, that's going to be nice. And I've only had sourdough banana bread one time, and it does add it's got a unique flavor, I will say that. I mean, it's not earth-shattering or life-changing, but it is unique. And I really like my sourdough starter, so there we go. That should be good enough. So we'll throw that back in, and we'll put that in 45 minutes, and then we'll check and see how it's doing at the end in 45 minutes. I was told to measure 4 feet above the ground. The walnut in the backyard is undisturbed ground. It was 79 degrees in 2024. Or 74 inches. I'm sorry, not 74 degrees. Alright, so 360, 45 minutes, and we'll check on it then. I've got to go check on the beagle real quick, and then we're going to take down, I'm going to take this down, and we'll pop that out. I got to go out to the other, got to go into the fridge. I'm going to check on the beagle, because she's way too quiet. And I've been in and out of the garage, and I've been known a time or two to accidentally leave the beagle in the garage out there. Because she follows me everywhere. And she follows me everywhere, and sometimes she follows me into places like the garage, and I don't see her out there. I didn't think she came out there, and she did. So we're just going to be using that one, and we'll get our pork chops out. I'm just going to go hit the garage real quick and see where she's at, and I'll be right back. been antisocial like a lot. People are going to start talking. They're going to think that you're not around anymore. That I've secretly disposed of your little beagle body someplace. There she is. She's back in the bedroom. Time to pick black raspberries and red raspberries and golden raspberries. Ooh, man. I don't know if I've ever had a golden raspberry. It sounds really good. Yeah, she was back there. I have I have a down duvet in the bedroom, and it stays really nice and cool. And she gets under that duvet, and then that's where she was hiding. I thought she was in the garage. Anyway, back to the front here. But anyway, so I'll throw a little bit of oil into that. Just a little bit of olive. So some grapeseed oil in there. Don't need a ton. Throw some grapeseed oil into there. And we'll just use this brush to pop that around. There we go. And hit the sides and all that. And then I'll get the pork chops out. Remove some of the stuff out of my way, like this bowl that we're not using anymore. That can be discarded. These measuring cups can be discarded. We're not using those anymore. And finish putting that oil in there. And we'll get our pork chops out. All right, cool. Let's see. Yeah. And the comment section has been, we've had people in and out. The comment section has been really, really quiet today. But I'm just glad folks are watching. That's always fun. It's fun to hang out with everybody. And let's see. All right, so let me, I got to glove up again. Glove up one more time. And we'll get our pork chops ready to go. Let me get my garbage can over back over this way. So I can throw the container in there. Pork chops. One thing of pork chops. Plus got a plate for these, just in case they decide to get drippy. Alright. See where you guys are at here. Let's tilt this up just a little bit that way. Like I said, I'm having a heck of a time there with that holder. It's not wanting to do its job. Sometimes it just needs to work, you know what I mean? Sometimes things just need to do its job. Tasty. Alright, let's get these pork chops out. Now, these are not super thick or anything like that. They're actually really thin, if I remember correctly. And I'm going to work with them in the bag so that I don't get the pork juice everywhere. And hopefully, they should all fit in here. They should all fit. I'm not sure how many are in there. There should be 4. They're about a 1/2 inch thick. Don't get nice. I want a nice slow cook on these. We'll season these up here in a second. Get that out of the way. I think we're done with the oil for right now. I know normally I would say let everything air out and all that, but I don't feel like doing it. But we may have to pick some herbs out of the garden to add to add to that. Just give it a little bit of flavor. I think we will do that. There we go. Alright, do the usual. Do some salt and pepper. And I think I'd be crazy not to add in a little bit of that lemon in there as well. Maybe the juice of the lemon. I don't know why I took that glove off. I need to do both. I'm going to hit both sides of that. Message retracted. Uh-oh, Mercy B saying something crazy. Getting all lewd and inappropriate. But then we're going to get the oil on both sides of that before I go any farther. There we go. And we'll do that side with our pepper. I may have to get some more garlic powder out. But I have garlic right there. Maybe we'll just use some garlic cloves. That sounds pretty good. That sounds like a better idea. We'll just use some garlic cloves instead of that. And then a little bit of salt. Yeah. Let's see. I have more garlic powder, but I don't feel like getting it out. So let's just use some of these garlic cloves that we have sitting up here. That'll be fine. Some salt. We'll hit the other side with some salt. And we'll drop a little bit of lemon juice on there, just to say we did it. Salt on there. There we go. All right, cool. Very cool, very cool. Looks like the brown fragments need to be cleaned off. Brown fragments? I don't know what brown fragments you mean. The bone fragments. You mean the bone fragments? Is that what you mean, bone? There's just a little, oh no, that's just fat. That's just fat. There's not bone fragments on, no, there's not like bone chips and stuff. There's no bone chips or anything on there. We're fine. We're all good. Yeah, there's no bone. It's just, that's just pieces of fat. Let's move that. Let's move my butter away from there. Even though we are gonna, I don't know if we need any more oil in there, but here we'll move that up to a little closer. Bone fragments. That's good. Okay, so anyway, let's get our garlic. Throw some garlic cloves in there. I might just actually go out and grab some Italian herbs that are in the garden. I think a little oregano, maybe some basil on the top. I think that might be good. Add a little something to it. Give it a little Mediterranean flavor. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Glad I thought of that. Glad I thought of that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. We'll do 4 cloves, 1 for each, and we'll get our garlic thing out, whatever this thing's called that takes all the skin off the garlic without me having to mess with it. Sorry, I'm bad at texting. Yeah, that's okay, Mercy. I'm also really bad at reading, so, and texting. My phone has a problem with predictive text, to where that's all it ever wants to do, and no matter what I'm trying to write, it'll change it, and then I never notice it until I've already sent whatever it is I've had to send to somebody. There you go. 1 garlic in there. Two garlics in there. 3. And I know there was a 4th one. Didn't we do a 4th one? Fuzz probably stole it. Fuzz Fork 8 came into my kitchen and got my garlic out of here. We'll let that as that goes, it'll fuse into that. And that even smushed it for me. Cool. Okay, we'll set that other garlic back up there where it belongs. There we go. All right, good deal. See how you guys, what kind of shot you guys are getting here. There you go, a little better. Sorry about that. Got a little rusty, guys. I'm just a little rusty. Yeah, see, that sounds exactly right. Like that seems like somewhere where Antonio would be. Yeah, that seems exactly like that where that should be. Thanks for looking that up, Radagast. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Okay, so we got that. Let's see here. Reading, catching up in the comments section. I know it hasn't been that exciting of a show. Like I said, we're just doing some meal prep, hanging out. I don't even know what time it is. It's a little before 7 o'clock here. It's about 10 to 7. Just doing a Tuesday night sort of hangout. Tuesdays are just Tuesday. Very Tuesday-ish. Let's get that over there. Okay. I'm good at spelling. Right? I can't. I'm one of them boys that just can't spell none too good. No, my spelling's okay. My spelling's not great. Sometimes my enunciation, because of my Midwestern accent, sometimes my enunciation is a little off. Like Antolia, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't even know if I'm saying turkey correctly, actually. Alright, so we got these ready to go. I can't think of anything else that I really can't live without putting on these. Oh, I was gonna snip up. Yeah, let's snip up a little bit of garlic. Let me jump outside, right outside the door here. None of my other herbs are ready to go, but we'll get these on there. We got some basil. Basil's been looking really good. That's the top of my basil plant. Just regular old sweet basil. Already starting to bolt a little bit, which is nice. The seeds never grow. It's probably, it says heirloom, but I'm saying GMO. And we've got got a little bit of Greek oregano. We'll throw on top of that. And just a little bit of Greek thyme. And we'll throw that on top of there. Toss those. Toss these. This will be pretty when it's done anyway. Let that kick on. A little Mediterranean pork, I guess. Maybe. Okay. And our oregano. Drop that on there. There we go. And then our thyme. I always like to go the other direction with the thyme. But if that's pretty fresh. We'll just toss those on there. Oh, there it goes. There's the stems. Just want to come off the stem. Throw that onto there. It's a nice thing about having herbs right outside of the in the patio. There we go. Perfection. And I have just a little bit. I have more garlic powder, but I don't feel like stopping and filling it up. So we'll just throw a little bit of garlic on top of it. What's left of the garlic powder on there. And maybe just Yeah, I think that's it. I think we'll keep it short. I think we'll keep it really simple. But I think that looks pretty good. I need to take some growing tips from you. I do, Mercy. They're all everything that I do. I've been trying to put up with everything. I hope people are seeing some of the videos. I've been doing a lot of how I lay my garden out, how I do this, that, and the other thing, how I do different stuff. And I've been trying to make it as available. If anybody ever has questions, this is a great time to talk about it. Because I have, until I get done with, I have 27 minutes at least until my my banana bread's done. And we're still going to make tuna salad. We are going to make tuna salad because I want tuna salad sandwiches for lunch. I've been dying for some tuna salad sandwiches. I really have. Let me take that. I don't know if I can finagle that onto there, but I think I can. Let me get my lobster claws back out. I got to do some finagling in the oven. There's always something. There's always something in the oven that you forget about. So we've got that part done. And I don't know why I just grabbed one oven mitt. Oh, I know now. I'm just going to pull that out. I'm going to pull this out and drop it onto there. And that banana bread, I just opened the oven up. And I want to get it closed as quickly as possible. Because, man, that banana bread smells so good. So good. So we'll let that go in there and we'll let that marinate and do its thing for a minute. And we'll just do that till it hits. I like my pork chops to be about 160, 155. And then I'll throw them under, I'll brown them up underneath the broiler for about 2 minutes and give it that little bit of flavor. And those will be done. But those will be out probably after the banana bread's ready. So we're going to move on to the next thing. I'm lucky to see you guys. I don't get notifications anymore. Yeah, you know, I had that set up on there, but I'm slowly working back to getting everything fixed. I mean, I'm just glad people can actually hear what it is I'm saying, because nobody's been able to hear what I was saying for like weeks on end. And I did get that part figured out, but I had it to where people should have been getting notifications, because that's a setting thing. Break out the California pottery bowl. I love these bowls. I absolutely love these bowls. I need to find, let's see, this is the OB2. I've got the OB3, but I need to find the OB1. And when I find it, you know, I wish I could think of a good Star Wars joke. The OB1, but that's what these are. You see on the back of these California pottery, a lot of their stuff was these particular ones. They were the OBs was an over and back style. That's what they call them, over and back. That's what the OB stands for, over and back. They were that ribbing and stuff on the. I would imagine that's like a pottery term. I mean, my pottery knowledge is very slim to none. I mean, the most pottery I've ever did is making like something for my mom in art class when I was a little kid. That's about the most pottery. Or buying terracotta pots at garage sales. But I was really lucky to come across the California pottery. And that's how you know it's California pottery, the over and backs, is it says O and B and then a number. I do not have OB1. Because I guess the force is not with me. There, I made the joke. There, I did it. I did the Star Wars joke. The sound was a syncing problem, and I had everything synced up differently to different things. And when I was coming on here, it was automatically muted in a setting somewhere on the inside. So I had to figure out where that was to take the muting off. And I had to be on the correct and it had to sync up with the correct picture mode. It was a mess. It's still not 100% figured out. And it still has something to do with the when I separated everything after I had my phone and everything, and my phone and my laptop. We had that bad power surge during the storm here, and everything got jacked. Yeah, everything got jacked up. Everything. Like I can't. I know I hate to like just sit and say minutia things, but it was just a lot of minutia stuff that was wrong. So anyway, my tuna out, and I do not drain my tuna because that's where all the good stuff is. And I have some leftover celery from the weekend. We're gonna throw that. This is potluck. This is my potluck lunch. But I've been wanting tuna for so long. Tuna salad sandwiches, and I've got half a loaf of sour bread that I made on Saturday that I have to use up. Have to. I want to show you guys my new bread bag. I know this is kind of dorky, but I got a new bread bag for my sourdough, and I don't know if maybe I'm just late to the game with this kind of stuff, but I got this bag to store my sourdough in, and I love this thing. Love it. And I will show you guys that here in a minute. I'm thinking about I gotta see if I can get more of these where I got them, because I think I might do a giveaway, not tonight, but if I can get more of these, I might do a giveaway, because I absolutely love these bags that I store everything in now. Rinse that out so I can throw that in the recycling. But I do not drain my tuna. We'll do 2 cans of tuna, and this should make quite a few sandwiches actually. My sourdough loaf. I did my sourdough loaf in a regular loaf pan this week. Normally I do it in a Dutch oven, and it was kind of coincidental that I did the banana bread too, because I've been wanting to give my loaf pan a little bit of work, because it was just sitting there doing nothing. And I like to keep it's got a good seasoning on it. I just like to keep building on that. So I did my sourdough in that this week. So we got that. And a little bit of lemon in there. Lemon juice. A little bit more lemon juice. There we go. Let the lemon juice off my hands. The lemon juice off. Got a little bit of cracked black pepper in there. Don't over pepper. Don't over pepper your tuna salad. There we go. Oh, in the other room, Saturday Night Fever's on. in the living room on the big TV, the Saturday Night Fever's on. You know, I watched that. It must be on. It must be on whatever cable channel I'm watching, because that's the. I watched it last weekend, and I hadn't seen it probably since, I don't know. And a little Badger trivia, my very first record ever that I ever bought was the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, the double LP album. That's how old I am. The double album, and I had it. I don't even know if I was. I don't even know if I was in. That's how cool parents were in like in those days, because I don't even think I was in school yet when that was like a thing. When that was an actual movie. Like we went to the movie theater and saw Saturday Night Fever at the theater. And I remember, I forget which song it was I liked from that soundtrack, but that was my first record ever I bought, the Saturday Night Fever. I have a Watt ovenware 12-inch bowl I use for mixing bread dough. I don't know what that is. If you want to put in the comment section what that is exactly. Because I'm sort of new to McCoy, as far as like vintage ceramic ware. I know like Roseville Art ceramic. I know California Pottery, and I know McCoy. Other than that, I'm actually really ignorant to ceramic, antique ceramic. And I might think of something eventually that I know about, but those are the ones I know. So whatever you know about it, just put down in there. For realsies. Let's see. I need to make some room here. Right, so let me get my celery out so we can chop the celery up. Celery, like I said, I'm just using leftover celery from the tray I was doing when I was entertaining on Sunday. I had people over, and I'm just going to cut that up and throw that in there. That's what we're going to do with that. Because I don't know if anybody's ever seen the Matthew McConaughey story about Matthew McConaughey supposedly every Sunday makes tuna salad. Now, whether he really does or not, but it's a fridge clean out every Sunday at his house. And that's kind of what sort of what I'm doing right now. And the fact that I've really, really, really been wanting tuna salad with my bread. Because I'm not going to toot my own horn, but beep. The sourdough bread that I made on Saturday was really good, and it's getting to be Tuesday, and I need to use it. So that was already washed and cleaned, so that was cool. What is the name of the company? Yeah, exactly. I figured that. But I was just like, maybe like where it was made and like when, or, you know, something along those lines. Hope Val's not watching, because I'm not being very careful. There we go. And hopefully after today, the other thing is too, that maybe after tonight's stream, we might have hit, I'm really close. This channel, you guys have been so great to me especially this past year, with the viewership, that we might hit 500,000 views on one of these streams this week. I think that's pretty, I know that's not huge as far as YouTube goes, but for somebody just sitting in their kitchen and hanging out with their goofy dog, talking cast iron cookware and antiques and having a few drinks, I think 500,000 views is something to be pretty, it's pretty amazing, actually. And I can't believe it. And that's with having difficulties, shit, almost for the last 2 months. Not having audio and just being resigned to doing short videos. Let's see. See how much, if that looks like enough celery. Can you guys see that okay? The background? Yeah, you guys can see that. But I like to keep my tuna salad really simple too. I might cut up some pickle, I might not. I've got some spice, I've got some, I don't know if they're very popular in other places in the country, but I've got some Tony Paco Sweet Hots from Tony Paco's Pickles and Peppers. And if you guys ever remember the old show MASH, Klinger was from Toledo, Ohio, and he always went to Tony Paco's. And that's where these pickles are from. The sweet hot pickles. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more celery. So I like a little crunch. I like a little crunch in my tuna salad. There we go. But I like to be able to see it. Every once in a while, if I have green pepper, which I don't, I will throw green pepper in there as well. And one of my other favorite things to do is to make tuna salad and then add noodles to it, like shell noodles, and just add the shell noodles to it and have it as another kind of tuna salad. I think we made that. We made that last year on here. I think that show. I think that stream was called "Making Summer Salads with Cast Iron." Making salad with cast iron. Add just a little bit more into there. There we go. Check the comment section before I throw that in there, and then grab the onion. Unlurk mode activated. Yes, I'm here. Curl those piggies. There she is. There's my gal. Say hi to your hubby for me. I know he's probably lurking in the background as well. Good to see you, Val. For all those out there, Val also has a YouTube channel, Val's Black Cats Rule. And she is the only one that I find it acceptable to be wearing cat ears during her streams. The only one. Everybody else, not allowed. Shouldn't be allowed. But Val, I do make exceptions for Val. All right, so we got our celery in there. I got some pre-cut up. I got some pre-diced onions. Also lurking around. They're lurking on my table. They lurked all the way out here. I didn't even see them show up. Forgot that they showed up. We'll throw some onion into that. I've got some really nice green onions in there that I got from the local store, but I'm not going to use those. I think I'm just going to eat those. Plain Jane. A little bit of onion in there. How much time does our banana bread have roughly? It's coming in at about 9 minutes. We'll switch spots with the cutting board. I don't think we need the cutting board anymore. But we will put just a little bit more of the diced onion in there. I do, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, I do like the crunch in my sandwiches. Hubby says hi. Hello. Good. Well, I'm glad your hubby's lurking in the background as well. Let me see here. Let's start getting with our mayo. Ooh, I forgot I have pineapple upside down cake flavored yogurt in my refrigerator. I forgot to take that to work this week. That'll be a good lunch for me tomorrow. A tuna salad sandwich and some pineapple upside down cake yogurt, Greek yogurt. It sounds really good. All right. That actually sounds really delicious. Really, really good. All right. I'm out of drinks. I'm out of drink. And I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I'm absolutely parched. Parched today. Get you out of here. Ugh. Get you out. You gotta go. See you later. Any hoosies. Get that mixed into there. We'll just kind of add. I do the mayo by sight. I don't like over mayo, but I don't like under mayo either. Ooh, one thing. You guys almost let me forget it. Everybody, you're about to get a timeout. You let me forget celery seed. Celery seed is the key to good tuna salad. Yep, everybody gets a timeout. Let me forget celery seed. I wouldn't have forgiven myself if I would have forgotten the celery seed, actually. But I usually forget something. They're playing Disco Duck on Saturday Night Fever. Have you ever used Duke's mayo? If you haven't, you should. Yeah, Duke's mayo just became available around here in my neck of the woods about 2 or 3 years ago. I know that's sort of if I know my mayo, like I think I know my mayo, I believe that to be that's a southern thing, actually, isn't it? Something you the folks down south have kind of had for a while. But I am actually a Hellman's guy. I used to be, because I grew up in the 70s and 80s. My mom was a Miracle Whip. My mom always did the combo. Like my mom always did mayonnaise and Miracle Whip for everything. So I grew up with a lot of that. Like if my mom made tuna salad, it would be half mayo and half Miracle Whip. Odd combination, but that's how she did, and it was really good. But yeah, I think it's just because I grew up with Hellman's. I'm kind of stuck with the Hellman's, and we will drop just a little bit more lemon juice in there just to say we did it. And I've really been digging the Hellman's olive oil, which is what I'm using right now. I like that. I've been trying to stay away from the soybean as much as possible, even though just like salt and even though just like sugar, it's in everything. It's in absolutely everything. So you can't really get away from soybean oil almost. But I think the consistency on that's fairly good. Give it a taste, see how it is. Yeah. That's not bad. Plus, I'm the only one eating it, so I don't want to hear about, oh man, you just bit off that and you put it back in there. I'm the only one going to be eating out of it. And I'm probably going to be eating out of that bowl too at some point anyway. William Hurt, what's up, buddy? Yes, it's the secret to all good Southern cooks. Oh, very cool. Is Cast Iron Chaos back in the chat? He was here earlier. I don't know if he's back in there now. In potato salad, I like half mayo and half sour cream. Yeah, I think that's a common, sort of a common thing to put like half mayo and half of something else into, because I've said that to other folks about like Miracle Whip and mayo, and they're like, oh yeah. Or they said sour cream. I think I'm going to drop. I think I am going to drop the rest of that celery in there for sure. Because we can get, I'm not just going to sit here with 4 little nubs of celery. Because I'm never, unless I just sit and eat them, I'm never going to finish them. So we might as well just throw them in there where I know I'm going to finish them. Because I don't think, and I know one thing about tuna salad, it has never went bad. It's never went bad in my kitchen. I've always finished it, whether it be on crackers or bread or even on even just on lettuce. Just like put it and make a lettuce wrap. That's always pretty good in the summertime, especially. The beagle was just out here. I think she's not too into the heat. It's pretty hot out here right now. I don't have the air on. She's been back and forth between the bedroom where it's cool and her her down duvet that she's really fond of. Okay. Pop that in there. Let's go ahead and pop that in. Maybe even throwing this a little. I think that it could actually use a little bit more onion. It's not oniony enough. There we go. Just a smidge more onion. And plus we've only got 2 more minutes till supposedly the I don't know. It's getting close. The banana bread is just about ready to come out. It's popped and it's cracked at the top, but it still looks really moist in the middle. So we'll do the toothpick test here in about 2 minutes. We'll put some plastic wrap on this. And we'll call it a day on the tuna salad. Tuna salad's done. I've had enough. But I am going to top it with just a little bit more celery seed. Just a smidge more. I'm going to leave that right on the top. There we go. All right, cool. Coolio. All right, let's get some plastic wrap and wrap that up. And we'll be done with that. Have you ever tried viral Mexican tuna salad? I enjoy making with traditional tuna like you're making. No, I've never tried it. I love chicken salad. Celery, green pepper, and carrots. Oh, okay. That does sound good. I'm gonna keep it reals here. Party started. Got Val. I'm gonna keep it reals here. What was that one guy's name that was here yesterday in the live stream? Dr. Home Razor Experiment. that was his handle? That was so crazy. So crazy. Ooh, I am gonna put some pickle in there. I forgot about the pickle. Let's get out a little bit of pickle. We almost forgot pickle. I'm just going to cut up 1 piece of pickle and put in there. And these are the pickles I always talk about that I get. Tony Pacco's pickles and peppers, the Sweet Hots. These are super, super good. You see them at the store? They are like the best thing to put on a ham sandwich you'll ever put on a ham sandwich. I'm just going to cut up 1. I'm just going to put up 1 and put it in there. I don't want a whole lot of pickle, but I almost forgot that I was going to do that. And I think I would hate it if I didn't. Not a fan of pickles in my salad. Val, you're not getting any of my salad. You're not getting any of my tuna salad. At all. Alright. Can't have it. But to be fair, Val, if you did come over to my house, I would leave the pickles out of the tuna salad. I would do it. For you and for you only. But I'm not going to put a lot. I just want like 1 chunk, because these are kind of chunky. 1 chunk. And 1 chunk for me. They're almost like a hot sweet pickle. That's really what that's basically what they are. It's a hot sweet pickle with garlic and with chunks of garlic and chunks of peppers in there, like pepperoncinis. They don't have as much as they used to, I will say that. Shrinkflation has definitely hit Tony Pacco's pickles and peppers. There we go. Just a little bit. I almost forgot I like it. Yeah, man, onions make it. And I have some really big green onions in the refrigerator, but I don't feel like getting them out. I feel like just eating them or putting them on salad. They're huge. They're from I got them from a local like a local deli, and they had them in their refrigerated section, and they looked really good. So I picked up a bunch, just like one bunch of them. Okay. Yeah, that banana bread's starting to look done. So let's get on with getting that out of the way. And we'll get all this stuff out of the way, and we'll get that bread out. Let me just throw some plastic wrap on that, and then we'll move that to the fridge where it belongs and go from there. Without hopefully dropping anything as I go to the fridge, working around this camera. There we go. But I am going to take the banana bread out, and because that noise is going to drive me nuts. But we'll get some plastic wrap on this, and then get the banana bread out. All right. My nemesis, plastic wrap. It is my arch nemesis in the kitchen. Alright, that's good. That'll work. I'll take that. And then we'll get our bread out. We'll get a trivet going, and we'll get the bread out and give it a check. If you could go 100% by looks, I would say the banana bread is done, but we can't always do that, so let's put that there. Square that up. Throw a trivet down. I just happen to have a trivet right here. And we got one lobster claw. Grab the other lobster claw, and then we'll take this stuff out. Start taking things out. We should be about ready to wrapping this up a little bit. You got the time, we've got the beer. That's 100%. It is Miller time. I got this from the butcher shop. They actually got it in for me. I can't get it anywhere else. Let's take a look at that. I think it's going to need some more time, to be really, really honest. We're going to do the toothpick test, and I really think that it's going to fail the toothpick test, even though this absolutely looks amazing right now. And let's turn the timer off, because that's going to drive me nuts. But I think it's not going to pass the toothpick test. Especially there in the middle. Yeah, see, that's really gummy. Not going to pass. But that looks really good. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. That is sourdough banana bread is so good. So good. $15 more. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Val. 15 more. But the pork chops are looking really good too. But I'm gonna wait till these are done. They're probably done. They just need to go up to the top rack, and the pork chops are probably going to be overdone. To be super honest. So I think we're just going to go and. Even though they do look really good. Let me get a temperature. Let's take a temp check on the pork chops real quick. see. 'Cause I got a feeling. I got the feeling that these are probably done. Yeah, they actually are done. They don't look done, but they are done. I should probably pull these and let them rest. So we'll do that while we give the banana bread just another 15. I'm going to take it down to 350. The recipe called for 360, but I think it's really brown. As is, and we're going to pull those pork chops. Are saying that they're 175, so that's where I want. Just cover with foil on top if you don't want it to brown anymore. I never thought about that. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. That is a really good idea. I think I'll do that. I think I will do that. Because I have foil. Let me get the foil out first, so I have it here handy. Now, with that said, should I tent it, or should I wrap it in foil? I thought about it, because I really don't want it to brown any more than it already is. But I don't. Will that make it too wet? Will it make it wet in the center, like on the top? Because I really don't want the top to brown anymore. I like a little citrus in my beer. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, a little bit of lemon, man. Miller High Life and some lemon is so, that's about the only beer I drink in the summertime. I drink that, and I drink Amstel Light. I had some Yinglings that were sitting in the fridge over the weekend that I got rid of in the fridge out in the garage. But mostly it's Amstel Light, because Amstel Light's like, if anybody, I never had 3-2 beer as a teenager, like as a kid. That was like way before my time. But it's almost like 3-2 beer. But it has a really good taste as far as beer goes. Just loosely cover it, don't seal it. Okay. I'm going to go loosely tinted. Just because there's a consensus. But you can see when I put it up there that it sort of jiggled right there in the middle. So, but I don't want it, man, it's starting to smell. Let me take the temperature of that bread. I'm going to take the temperature of the bread real quick. Let's just go, let's get deep into that. Yeah, that's not even close, man. That's not even close. But I don't think another 15 minutes is going to hurt it. But I will let it sit and continue to, because it's going to cook. You know what I mean? After it sits, it's going to keep cooking. But I think that's a really good idea to tent over it so it doesn't brown anymore. I think that's a great idea. So we'll just sort of, I always brag about having those little handle things. And we'll throw those on real quick. So that it's a little easier to handle. Little handle deals here. There we go. And then we'll put those on there. And put that on. And I'm just going to loosely set that on there. And then everybody, I think then we have the consensus that it won't brown on top anymore. That's cool. Man, those pork chops smell really good. Those herbs we put on there are fantastic. But yeah, we need to take that. It needs to go up at least another 100, like another 45, 50 degrees. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking too, that it might kind of continue to cook. All right, but anyway, let's break out the. Let me move these pork chops out of here and get them sitting. And because not only do they smell great, but they smell done. They didn't brown on top, but I had them underneath. If that makes any sense? I had them actually underneath the banana bread. So that might have held up the banana bread just a little bit. Let's see. Move those back out. Where do they go? We get the lobster claws back out. Yeah, I dropped it down. I dropped it down 15 degrees. I just checked it. And I gotta go back to the timer. Luckily, I looked at the timer right before I moved it. But we're not gonna let it sit in there too much. We're gonna let it sit and do its thing. Because I think it's gonna congeal back up, to be honest. I think it's just a little too, whatever. But there's the pork chops. They're not browned up as I would want them to be. But because the banana bread took longer than I thought, I wasn't able to put them in for the last couple minutes and let them put them under the broiler for 2 minutes. But I think these look pretty good. They smell great. And the temp on these, they're probably up to in the 180s by now because they sat in there extra a little bit of time. But we'll check it. I would say they're probably in the 180s. 170, 180. Right by the, let's check right by the bone. Oh yeah, these are way done. $182. I just didn't get that brown that I like on there, but I'll take it. That's kind of deep. 185. Yeah, I'll take that. They're definitely done. They're not overly done. They smell really, really good. Set them in the pan instead of flipping syrup. Val, that sounds like an amazing idea, but I've made so many dishes, I don't want to do any more. I don't want to do any more dishes. None. Oh, set the whole pan on there? Yeah, I probably could. But I think I'm alright. I think I'm okay on that. I think I'm okay. Man, but these smell great. They smell so good. I could probably, I only have one set of those. I only have one set of those little handle things. I do want to eat the garlic though. The garlic, oh man, that garlic looks perfect. The garlic is perfect. Absolute perfection. It's like smearable garlic, you know what I mean? Where you can just like smear it on and do whatever. I'm back. What's the beef doing? I don't know. What is the beef doing? Beagle, what are you doing? She's probably out on the couch. Ever since I put that dog bed on the couch, I didn't just throw a dog bed. I got her a new dog bed and I put it up there because she was late. She lays on the couch all the time, and I'm not that big of a, like, I know some people don't let their dogs on the furniture and stuff, but I'm not here like part of the day, so I know she's going to be on the couch anyway. So I don't know why I would enforce that rule. Plus, when Ming lived here full time, her and that dog were on the couch constantly. But I did put a dog bed on there, and now she's got a dog bed on the couch. So she's sitting out there. She's probably sitting out there watching Saturday Night Fever. Is probably what she's doing. Because I called her and she's like not moving. But we were playing with her Kong toys right before the live stream, and I still gotta take her for a walk yet tonight. But it's still fairly early. I think it's it's just a little past 7:30. So we got a little bit. Yeah, roasted garlic is amazing. I mean, that's 100%. But yeah, I would have done that. That was a great idea to throw that on there and fry it up in the pan. But I think I'm kind of done making this any more to clean tonight. I know if I do that, I'm going to get a little stuff in there. But man, that basil smells. That's the first basil I've used off of the plants from out on the patio so far. and we use the sweet basil, we use the Greek oregano, and the Greek thyme for that. And that didn't, I mean, that really did super well. It smells so good. I think tomorrow I'm gonna make a salad out of all of it. Like a salad. I've got about half a head of lettuce left in the refrigerator that needs to get used, and I think I'm gonna cook that or cut that up and mix in those vegetables. And I've got some Greek dressing, and I think that's what I'm gonna do for dinner tomorrow. Because these will be gone. These will be gone tonight. Because I know the Beagle will at least eat one. Because ever since I started making her homemade food, she has completely boycotted dog food. She's too bougie now for dog food. She doesn't want anything to do with it. Not a thing, unless I mix it in with her like homemade dog food. I've created a monster with and she will boycott that dog food for days if I just leave dog food down. So it's my own fault. I did it, but my dog eats real food. That's not a big deal. But anyway, let's take one of these off and let's give it a try. We've got about 3 minutes until we're going to take that banana bread out and we're going to let it sit. And I'm probably not going to open it up, but I am really happy with how it came out. But let's get a little dish out and try the pork chops. While we wait. So let me grab a fork and a knife and let's cut that up. And I think I don't know if I'm going to throw some horseradish on there or not. We'll see how it tastes first. But let's give this a day in court for sure. Let's go with, I think I like the looks of this one in the back. I do like that. If they taste as good as they smell. Super tender. Look at that. You can you fork cut it? Yeah, almost, for the most part. Man, that's good. Yeah. 100%. Nothing else added to it. No salt, no pepper. I mean, that's... It's not dried out. You can see it. Not dried out at all. Man, that's super good. And we'll snack on this real quick. There's just no comparison to fresh herbs out at right. I mean, they don't get any fresher than what they were. I went out and cut them off. And put them right on the pork. There's just absolutely no comparison to that at all. You get the Beagle, some chunks of that. She's going to be digging it. We'll get her some stuff. It's been a while since you guys saw the Beagle do a spin, so let's get that dog out here spinning. Beagle, you want some pork? You want some chicken? There you go, kid. There you go. Might have to put her over on the mat. You want to do a spin? There you go. Oop. Guess I'll wipe that up. All right, that's the other. That's the other bell. We'll have to wait on that to give her. How does the BSR Lodge Pan compare to the BSR fish fryer? I don't know. I don't have a BSR fish fryer. I actually have no fish fryers at all. I wanted to get one of the Legacy Lodge fish fryers, but I've never been able to acquire one, actually. Let's take this out, because I think this is going to be good as far as this goes. Because it smells done, and even if it doesn't pass the toothpick test, we're going to let that sit. But it looks really good. It looks phenomenal. We're just going to let that sit in there and kind of do its thing. Because it feels firm. I mean, it feels really nice. And we'll turn that off. But yeah, I'd say that's pretty darn good, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. We'll give it a toothpicker just to see if that actually works. Yeah, I've never used a fish fryer like that. The closest thing I have, I don't know. I always say this, and I'm like, oh no, wait, I do have something. But I have the Cajun Classic crawfish, the Crawfish Classic pan. I don't know. I'd say Cast Iron Quilter and Val. I'd say you win the best comments today, because I think it worked. I'd say it's done. It smells great. Smells fantastic. But we're still going to have to let it sit anyway. But we will. I will do a post in the background. Do a backup post to show you when it slices, because I know it's going to need at least another 30 minutes to cool, I think. And I'll make some room here, and I'll get it onto a wire rack in about 10 minutes. But it's starting to push toward 8 o'clock. And then we'll get the Beagle to get her some snacks on our way out of here. Well, we did everything we had to do. We did the pork chops. We did our banana bread. I think the banana bread came out amazing. Cast Iron Quilter, thank you so much. And Val, thank you so much for your for mentioning the aluminum foil. I think that really did it. We'll come over here to this Beagle. Make some blackberry cobbler. How does it? Oh, okay. Yeah, make some blackberry cobbler. Can you speak? Speak. There you go. You're not doing a lot of catching tonight. You'd think that you had Miller High. It was Miller time for you, creepster. Back that up a little bit. Try it again. Speak. Man, you're missing everything. What's going on? Can you sit? One more time. There you go. Got one. But anyway, we've been doing this for 2 hours, almost exactly. Everything's out of the oven. Everything's done. And I don't think anybody wants to hang out and do the dishes with me. So I'm going to jump off here, get this stuff in the dishwasher, get my pans cleaned up. I will put up in the post section what the bread looked like once I cut it in half after it's cooled for another, I don't know, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And we'll cut it up while it's still warm and do all that. But as far as that goes, I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to get this stuff done, and I got to get to bed here in about an hour and a half. So anyway, thanks everybody for showing up. Glad the sound's back on. Glad that we're back on these live streams. Keep your notifications on. I really dig doing pop-up videos. They're like my absolute favorite thing to do. So I'll do the dishes, get them soaking. There you go, Radagast. They should be ready to go by the time you get here. I would have loved for somebody to come to my house on Father's Day and do my dishes. That was the thing I really want. My one middle daughter took me to go get Chinese food, which was outstanding at one of my favorite Chinese places. But if she would have thrown in doing the dishes and maybe swept the carpet real quick, that would have been awesome too. But anyway, I'm going to jump out of here. Me and the Beegs got some stuff we got to do before bedtime. And thanks for hanging out. That's all I got. I hope that's all you need. And see you.